What is going on, Elf Hunters? Welcome back. Welcome back to me, I guess. It was a very nice vacation. Very great to be back. I actually got back a little bit, about 24 hours ago. Not quite 24 hours, about 23 hours ago. So it was kind of nice. Nice trip. No major issues or anything like that. You can see the spy. It's basically flat. It is, what is today? Terrific Tuesday? Tubular Tuesday. So let's kind of go over, what's been going on in the market. I guess ever since really last Thursday. We'll see if starting to be some cracks. I mean, not really. I mean, things kind of have gone back to what they were doing before Nvidia earnings. Not really too much kind of going on in the way of that kind of stuff. Well, let's take a look. SPY flat-ish, Qs flat-ish. A little bit of chop there throughout the day. IWM looking pretty good though. Kind of remember that. It's something I've mentioned before is I would expect the IWM to actually perform better over probably the longer term kind of horizon. Maybe not so much here for the next couple months. I mean, there's a lot of momentum in tech area. Not really so much the legacy names, but really more of the semiconductor names. So once that kind of wanes off, maybe we'll see some of the legacy big tech stuff kind of start to fall off. I would expect the IWM to be performing pretty well, and especially once they get AI kind of going, I would expect that to be a great equalizer among a lot of companies. So yeah, IWM looking pretty good, up 1.2% today, looking pretty good there. Dow Jones Industrial Average, the DIA, nice bearishness here. A little bit of gap down, traded lower, trying to form a nice basing pattern here, middle part of the day. Currently down 0.4%. All right, RSP chopping sideways throughout the day. Currently up 0.25%. So look on the daily, up, it's up a little bit. Nice little sell down yesterday. I was kind of liking this pattern. We had a nice little consolidation here, about a month and a half here for the month of February. We've been trying to hold this breakout that we've had going, looking pretty good. Maybe we pull back a little bit more, but I would expect it to probably just continue trading higher here. So we're getting a little bit more of that broadening out that people have been wanting. So that's a pretty good indication that might continue higher as we go into later parts of this year. But we might have some pullbacks here over the short medium term. So don't expect a straight line. We've had a very strong start to the year, like historically one of the best ever. So it's up there. DIA, Dow Jones Industrial Average, daily pulling back. Probably going to be a pretty good buy spot here for the DIA. Other than that, yeah, that's about all I got. I mean, it looks pretty good. I think you're probably going to start just, and it might be a big reason why when you look at that intraday. I mean, you got a nice basing action here. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. I would expect nothing less. Ew. So, I didn't like this island reversal here on the IWM. Very nice look at an island reversal. And then you got this little abandoned baby kind of price action here with 5 days where we had this gap down back from Friday to Tuesday last weekend. And then, we just had a gap up Monday to Tuesday. Looking pretty good for now. I would expect this probably to continue to go higher. A little bit extended, but that's a 1 day move. So we might continue higher here the next couple days. The only thing I would say is IWM looks pretty good. Qs. All right. Qs and SPY. Let's talk about it. I don't know why the 100, 200 are on. There we go. Qs pulled back a little bit of a lower wick there today. Obviously, we know last Thursday, Nvidia's big time earnings, nice pop, but we haven't done much since. I kind of mentioned that when I did the market outlook video, live stream on Thursday. I mean, don't expect much. And we haven't done anything really for now 3 days. We gapped up on Friday. We sold down. Makes sense if we get the gap up. Makes sense that you sell down, right? Because you had a huge bullish day on Thursday. Everybody that saw it on Thursday then bought. into Friday. They were, got the gap up. But people locked in profits. People took the opportunity to sell other big tech names. They really didn't probably have a justification for why they were up as much on Thursday. So they were probably just taking profits in those names. So it kind of makes sense. Anyways, Qs. Yeah, for now. I mean, not really bearish, but I don't really have a great reason to be extremely bullish there. Other than the fact that they just don't look bearish. Other than that, yeah, it looks all right. SPY, nice little pullback here over the past couple days. Yeah, not really doing a whole lot. Probably still got stop losses. Probably moved up to below Friday or Wednesday, February 21st, last week. Qs. You probably don't want to have stop losses there. That'd be a little bit too much. I think you're probably going to want to have them below Tuesday, February 13th. So that'd be where I would probably have them on the Qs. But anyways, SPY. Yeah, you probably did move stop losses up a little bit. Got some pretty good room here. We do have this pretty large gap here. Let's see. Do we have we have a lot of gaps back here from November. So, yeah, maybe we don't feel it yet. I don't know, because we left a lot of open gaps back in November. Obviously, we haven't come back to fill them. We might be in a very large. Let me just go and talk about this. Maybe a very large kind of rounding top that we're kind of getting into. Don't know what I just grabbed. There we go. To where maybe we are starting to we'll start to slow down here on the ascension. We're not going to just pivot here and just fall off. Do not expect that. Even if we do have a pretty decent pullback, maybe we pull back to the 480 level. I would. That's where I would be looking to buy, around the 480, upper 470s. If we get through this little lower area here, I think that would be a little bit more bearish. But I don't. Right now, I don't foresee that happening. But I would expect us to kind of have a pretty good rounding top that maybe it continues into the end of this year. Maybe it starts to kind of break down as we go into next year. And that's kind of just the way I think about the market right now. Not to say that I shook an 8-ball and, all my wisdom came out there. But we have a lot of momentum. I'm not going to say that we don't. I mean, there's a lot of momentum here. So maybe we start to slow down. Maybe things will start to break down in certain areas of big tech area, because that's where the weighting is. Maybe we'll see, rotation broaden out into the IWM, RSP, and that's, those things continue to outperform. Maybe the Qs and SPY, that will be what will look like the broadening out, right? So, okay. Anyways, that's kind of the way I just kind of was thinking about that. Here's a quick look at AAPL. Take a look at a couple of the big ones. AAPL, I mean, look at this thing. This thing's about ready to break down. The market's going higher, and AAPL has not been helping. Think about that. Microsoft, look. I mean, Microsoft's starting to form a little bit of a head and shoulders here. It's starting to make its way back down. I do remember talking about this last week after NVIDIA's earnings, where you got this funky looking, not even funky. I mean, this thing looks really kind of precise on this head and shoulders type pattern. And we're moving down. I mean, Microsoft's down 1/3% today, and the market's basically flat. So, I mean, what are we going to do? Are we gonna bounce here and go higher? I mean, it's possible, but I mean, if we break that neckline, yeah, there'll be a lot of people probably triggering out of Microsoft. I wouldn't be bearish, but I would say the upside for probably the near medium term would probably be done for a little while. Let's just run through some of the other big ones. So Alphabet, I'm going to talk a little bit about Alphabet here. So there's a lot of conflicting stories about Alphabet and their AI tool Gemini. Some people think it's the best AI out there right now. It overtook OpenAI's, ChatGPT 4.0, I believe is the one, their current one. And anyways, but Alphabet got hit here over the past couple days because of like people are calling it like woke AI behavior or whatever, or the way they've coded AI. And this is going to go back to a talking point that I've mentioned before about AI. AI is fantastic. It does things very quickly. Going from asking a question or basically asking a question, getting to an end result, getting an answer or something like that. But this is what I'm going to say. If the AI that you are dealing with or using is garbage, it doesn't matter how fast it is or how quickly it responds to getting you an answer. If it's a garbage AI, then it's a garbage answer. And let me bring up something just real quick. And this is kind of what I'm alluding to. Good grief. Anyways, this Google's under attack article because of its woke AI disaster. And if you've seen some of the stuff that's been out there from it, as far as image generation or asking questions, that is the issue that Alphabet has right now. Is how do you strip out, biases, in your AI? And if that is an issue with an AI, then it's not reliable, and that's a problem. So it doesn't really matter your view on politics or whatever. It's one that if there is an issue, people aren't going to use it. Okay, and no matter how you draw the line on politics, half the people view it one way, half the people view it another way. Well, now you just cut half your customer base, at least, right? At least. So it depends on how they respond, kind of from some of that. But if they don't respond well, then they might lose all of their customer base. So or potential customers, I guess. So Alphabet got hit pretty good yesterday, kind of from some of those issues. Not to say that Gemini is not good, in some areas, but yeah, it's not good when you have biases in areas of AI, especially with how prevalent they're coming, how people are starting to rely on them instead of doing the homework themselves, So that's where people need to make sure they're checking stuff at least a little bit. Here's a look at Meta. So those first three, Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, have not been performing well here for the past couple days. So mostly Alphabet, not really because of their AI issues with Gemini, but Meta, nice continuation from earnings. This isn't a game-breaking rally here post earnings. It's ticked up. Had a nice little gap up on Nvidia's earnings day. It's up 0.2% today. I'm not really a big time Meta bull, but until we see some breakdown levels, I got nothing. Yeah, that's all I got. I got nothing. I'm not going to continue to preach on nothing. Amazon. All right. Amazon, bearish a little bit yesterday. It was bullish Friday. It was kind of bearish today as well. Down 0.8% today. So, okay. Obviously, it had a pretty good earnings day. It had popped pretty good there on Nvidia's earnings day. So it's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. We might continue to hang in there a little bit. But it's kind of funny. The two actually I like the least out of probably the legacy, like big tech guys, the five we just looked at. Meta and Amazon are doing the best here recently. And it's kind of hard to say that, but Microsoft, very recently, within the past half a month, it's not really starting to look all that great. But until you start to see some rollover, some changing here on Meta and Amazon, I think you're looking okay. You probably got some stop losses below our recent lows, like over the past week or two, in both of those names. But other than that, you're looking all right. So then let's look at the other big guy, or has become the big guy, Nvidia. All right, Nvidia. It is the story of the town. I kind of mentioned that last week after its earnings. Nice gap up on Friday, pulled back down, but it has done almost nothing since. Nice little lower wick today. It's basically flat. Okay. I mean, it was a pretty nice large move there on Thursday. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing. I wouldn't want to be bearish on Nvidia or looking to be bearish. I don't like being bearish on semiconductor stocks. I've made that very clear before. I'm typically one that wants to be bullish on any type of meaningful pullbacks, mostly because we are in the age of computers. There is just about nothing that is getting built with some kind of computer in it, or some kind of silicon processor some way. So they're basically the leading candidate right now in the race for AI, and this is one reason why I'm not big so much on the other big tech companies. Okay, they are all in this race. Okay, so you got Nvidia, who is the big supplier, but you got Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, and Amazon. Those five. They all have a lot of money. They all have a lot of cash, and they are all in the race for AI. They have to stay relevant, and they know down the line AI means relevance. They are going to continue to spend billions to trillions of dollars in that arms race. They have to. They have to maintain their viability here, probably over the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. Because if they don't do that, they won't stay relevant. I don't really know what AAPL's game plan is for AI. I really don't. I really don't. I don't really know if anybody does, because I haven't seen anybody say, "Oh yeah, this is what they're doing with AI," because they haven't said anything outside of optimizing their current customers, I guess, spending more, but that doesn't really do anything for me, because they're already going to spend those dollars anyways. I guess. I mean, if you got 100 customers, they're all going to spend $1,000. I mean, for AI, you might help them spend it more efficiently, but they're still going to spend those $1,000. So that's the way I kind of think about them on a high level. That's how I kind of think about AAP on a high level. But that's just kind of it. And the only play in town for me is Nvidia, until AMD and Intel kind of catch up. And just take a look at AMD. This thing's been flat for a month, not really doing a whole lot. And it looks like we had a pretty good November, December, most of January. Kind of nice little base action here over the past month. We'll say over the past month. Nice. Looks like we could push higher here, as we go into the end of February. Maybe we start to break out. But you can see, the follow through day on Friday, AMD didn't do the best. Okay. All right. It's fine. It is what it is. This previous, or this 165 level, this is their previous all-time high. So you can see we've broken out, and we've retested into it several times, and we've bounced off that level several times. So this looks pretty good. I'm not one to say I don't like AMD. I do like AMD. I'm a big fan of Sue, who's their CEO. I like her a lot. She is completely turned AMD around from a company that was about to go bankrupt, or everybody thought it was going to go bankrupt, to, a really competitive company. Intel, not really performing all that great. Okay, so that's another one. TSM, this is This is the company that basically fabricates the NVIDIA chips. A lot of semiconductor chips. They're the world's largest semiconductor foundry company. So yeah, looking pretty good. I'll pull them back a little bit today, but they mentioned even on their earnings that they had back in January, mid-January, that they're able to kind of raise their prices for what they're charging some of these semiconductor chips because they're having such large demand. Basically, who they were alluding to was NVIDIA. So, and where did NVIDIA on their earnings? What did they mention? They had a decreasing margins because they're having to pay TSM more. So it will eventually kind of settle out. Like NVIDIA is not going to just be able to ride, to the moon. They're going to continue to do great right now because they don't really have much competition at the level that they are executing. They're doing great things. And that's all you really need to know. Don't be bearish here. You're probably just saying, hey, you know what? You're probably going to set alerts. You're going to set alerts probably at lower levels. Say, hey, if we break down, if we have a significant breakdown, I want to be bullish. I want to be a buyer. So that's the video. Let's take a look around. That's a lot of other big tech companies too. Let's take a look around some of the other stuff. VIX open higher on Monday, traded down all the way to now. So that makes sense. Always gap up on Mondays for whatever reason. On the VIX, doesn't look too bad. Still got this upward trending channel. All right, DXY, the dollar dropped a little bit. Yeah, huge lower wick there last Thursday. So if we break that, we're going to be breaking down here on the DXY. Didn't think we'd be struggling busting this much on the DXY, but yeah, if we break that wick there from last Thursday, we'll be breaking down. GLD, dollar's kind of flat. GLD's kind of flat. All right, not too much kind of going on there. Yields, this is the one, man. So I could barely tell what we were doing on yields on Friday. I was checking my phone periodically. I could barely tell what we were actually doing because I don't track the yields. I actually track the price of the bond on my phone. But I could tell that we were breaking. We had a bearish day on yields or a breakdown day on yields. But yeah, I also saw that we snapped back a little bit yesterday. It was just hard to judge how much of a move that was. But yeah, we're pushing higher, continuing to push higher today. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how yields finish out this week, because we did have a little bit of a false breakout right towards the end of last week. Thursday, Friday. So we did get a little bit of a quick snap lower, pulled into that 20 EMA, so we're bouncing. So if we get back up to those levels, the more we kind of poke into that area, eventually we'll break through. And if that's if you're trying to have a major resistance level right there at that level, once you break through it, man, it's kind of cat's out the bag and it just kind of takes off. 10-2 inversion broke down towards the end of last week. Not much going to go on. Popping a little bit today. All right, HYG still just in this trading range. Yeah, not much else to say. It hasn't gotten back up over the 77.5 level. Up a little bit today. Not too bad, though. LQD looks like it wants to roll over. We had a nice little bullish day there on Friday. Dropped off yesterday. And it looks like it wants to break down. Ooh, that looks kind of rough. TLT. Nice little bullish pop there on Friday. But it's pulled back some. Yeah, that bullish pop looks maybe like a game changer. So if we don't break down soon and we start to settle out here and base out maybe kind of in the level it's at and push higher, I can see that lasting for a period of time. So we'll see. Take a look. Sector performance. All right. Sector performance. Did not expect to see that. So utilities are crushing life today, up 1.5%, looking really good. XLC Communications doing pretty good. Discretionaries also doing pretty good. Materials doing pretty good. Tech is kind of in line with the market. Financials, healthcare, real estate, staples, industrials, just barely. All of those are just barely underperforming there. Energies underperforming. They have not been performing all that well for a while. Take a look at intraday. So take out the gap if there was even a gap today. You can see, yeah, utilities doing pretty good. Healthcare is up there. Communication, staples. Materials are barely underperforming. Financials, healthcare, industrials, discretionaries, real estate, and energies. Okay. Underperforming there. All right. I'm going to take a look at the past few days of price action. So, okay. Let me go back to Monday, or I'm going to go to Friday. Open. There we go. So Friday. So since Friday's open, this is how things have kind of looked. Monday looks like energies did pretty well. Energies, yeah, did pretty good. Definitely the best outperformer. Looks like the bullishness kind of continued Friday and Monday, pretty good there. Pulling back, even though they're having probably like the worst out of the sectors today. Discretionaries also did okay performance over the past couple days. Materials, utilities, industrial, staples, healthcare, all outperforming. So one risk-on sector, discretionaries, has done pretty well, and it's probably mostly driven from today. The XLY doing pretty good. Underperformers over the past 3 days: financials, tech, real estate, and communications. Which communications? Let me go to the end of Thursday. Communication XLC. I know at the end of last week, I think on Friday, was it Thursday or Friday? There was an outage issue or something like that. I can't remember if that was Thursday or Friday. That hit like a lot of cell providers, you know, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, over a couple days. So, yeah, there you go. Anyways, that's how it's looked over the past couple days. It's kind of good for me to get caught up, refreshed. AAPL, I was wondering. So AAPL, because I saw AAPL was definitely just hugely negative earlier, and then just before I got on the live stream, that something happened. Oh, check this out. We got some breaking news. Apple cancels electric car project. So crude oil looks extremely bullish. This looks extremely bullish. Maybe not a lasting move. I'm not going to say it's going to be a lasting move, but this looks, this pattern here that's been forming up here for the month of February, this looks very bullish. This looks really good. You can definitely tell that we have a very nice resistance level here. $79 here on crude oil. This looks really good.